Hi, I'm Jo, and my book is called Killjoy, the true story of the No More Page 3 campaign. And it tells the story of the campaign, which was set up in 2012 and asked the editor of The Sun to please stop printing the photos of topless women that had appeared every weekday in the newspaper since 1970. The campaign was run by a group of volunteers. I was one of them. And we were from different backgrounds of different ages. We were scattered across the country, and we had absolutely no experience of campaigning whatsoever. We didn't have any big impressive strategy or a grand plan. We didn't have any money. We didn't know what we were doing. And yet the campaign was a success. We had a huge amount of support here in the UK and from across the world. And in January 2015, The Sun finally stopped printing page 3. So I'm going to read you an extract from the book. So to set the scene, I'd moved from Rotherham to London. I was working as a childminder to support myself through university, and I was having a really bad time. I had no self-confidence. Whenever I left the house, I was shouted at by builders who were working on the street. I'd just run away from a conference that I was supposed to speak at because I was so intimidated by the academics, all of whom seemed to be posh men in linen trousers called Julian. I didn't like it. So I went home, drank a load of wine, ate a lot of Kit Kats, and this is where we'll start from. I couldn't afford to have any more time off work, so I reluctantly shuffled to Natasha's house to see what tasks she'd set me for the day. In addition to making dinner and assisting with the homework, she wanted me to unblock the upstairs sink with baking soda and to help Livia make a papier-mâché turtle for the school assembly. School assemblies in Dulwich were like full-scale productions at the Civic Theatre in Rotherham, but with good costumes and acting. Enough newspapers had been piled on that kitchen table to make a turtle of dinosaur proportions. Livia was laid on her stomach watching the telly, ignoring me, and I looked at the stack of papers and groaned. I hadn't bought The Guardian since they featured a midweek supper recipe with fennel pollen in it. Most nights I couldn't be bothered to go to the chip shop, let alone crawl around the neighbour's garden harvesting pollen. And the pollen was the tip of the iceberg, or for Guardian readers, the tip of the endive. The recipe also included preserved lemons and a spice with a name like a sinus infection, all to make a tiny frittata that looked like a bath sponge decorated with pencil shavings and grass. But I was in a bad mood because of the builders and I didn't want to make the turtle, and the Guardian was right there, so I picked it up and flicked through the pages, and that's when I saw it. A picture of a woman with a t-shirt with No More Page 3 emblazoned across the front in a Frankie Says Relax style font. She was standing on a busy high street, her hair swept across her face, the sleeves of the shirt rolled up, little woven bracelets on her wrists. She was just standing there, taking up space as if the street belonged to her. As if she didn't want to be invisible, as if nothing would induce her to cross the road to avoid being shouted at by builders with their shirts off. Looking at her, I thought, I bet she doesn't avoid talking to people, drawing attention to herself or going out after dark. Looking at her, I thought, I bet she does whatever she wants. I scanned through the article. I learned that the woman in the picture was an actor and writer named Lucy-Anne Holmes, and she'd launched the No More Page 3 campaign after buying a copy of The Sun during the Olympics. Although Victoria Pendleton and Jessica Ennis had just won gold for Great Britain, the topless photo of the page 3 model was still the biggest image of a woman in the entire paper. The editor of The Sun, Dominic Mohan, had defended the topless photos, claiming that page 3 represented youth and freshness and was an innocuous British institution. But Lucy-Anne Holmes disagreed, insisting that the pictures were there purely for men to look at, to objectify, the women's bodies theirs to lech over and throw away. The pictures said, this is what women should be. This is what women's bodies are for. In comparison to the size and dominance of page 3, Jessica Ennis and Victoria Pendleton's achievements were just footnotes. I thought about the builders, publicly reviewing my body like a B&B on TripAdvisor, and the effort I put in every day to try to become invisible. I thought about the Julians at the conference, interrupting the female speakers, saying, I don't have a question, more of a comment really, and then talking and talking and talking. I thought about my school careers advisor, suggesting that my most important job was that of wife and mother. I thought about all the times I'd been grabbed or groped in pubs or clubs or at work, and all the times I'd been told to be quiet. And then I thought some more about page 3.